could be us. This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
What's going on? We got another one for you. The last video we had was the fried liver attack. Suggested opening with white against black's bonded E4, E5 move. Especially effective at the nationals in the under 1,000 sections, 700, A1 under 500, all of that. We get to smack our opponents in the opening. But what if they try to do it against you? Now I have two suggestions for black, actually three. You can play the fried liver with black. On our previous video, I showed you the best way that you can play with black, actually, black and white, to get a good game. So you don't have to worry about falling for the fried liver or getting destroyed by the fried liver. Here's another way to play against the fried liver with black, and it's kind of like a really tricky trap that can work, and I've seen it work in so many nationals. This is my 15th national in a row, 15 years, and this trap has worked in so many games, and this knocks out your opponent early in the game. Let's check it out. Now the one thing is, I don't know the name of this trap, but let's say E4, we playing E5 here. He goes knight f3, we go knight c6 to protect our pawn, and he brings the bishop out here to c4. Now we don't know that he's going to play the fried liver. We don't know that. So the one thing about this trap is, if your opponent is not a fried liver player, we're just going to play a move that we wouldn't normally play, but it still gives us a playable game. Here we go, knight to d4. This is actually called the Skilling Caustic. Never knew the name before. The Skilling Caustic Gambit. And the best move for white to do is just to take on d4. Let me just tell you. Let's show the best way to play here. E takes d4, he plays c3, maybe bishop c5. Actually, no. Nope, we just play, I don't know, knight f6. He castles. And then we could play d5. Rook e1, we'll play bishop e7, and we're ready to get castled. This is a normal game. All right. And so it's okay to, if they know it, you play a normal game, that's normal chess. But let's see what happens if they go for the free pawn. See, kids, you guys under 500, under 700, and under 1,000, you guys love free stuff. So anytime we set traps where we're giving up something for free, that usually has success in those sections at the nationals. So here, and you know what? I would kind of make sure my opponent paid attention to that being free. Maybe I would just like, putting my knight on d4 and have and maybe grab it again and act like I made a mistake by putting the piece on the square. Hey, that you must pay attention. And so not only is chess a game of the mind, but also there's mental tricks as well. And so I remember my son did this in one game where he grabbed the knight and tried to put it back on the same square, and the other kid said, "Oh, touch move." And then once the kid looked and he thought that my son made a mistake, took this pawn here. And that was a big mistake. So what we're going to do is we're going to go queen to g5, where we're attacking g2 and e5 at the same time. Now, the best thing for our opponent is to play bishop takes f7. Even though this is still losing, we'll play king d8. And then his best move is to block us from attacking g2 by putting his knight on g4. You see the queen defends it. But then we go knight to h6. Of course, if he takes here, we'll go queen takes g2. And it's going to be similar to the destroying line. So let's see, he should play c3 here. You see, he says you attack my bishop and my knight, I'll attack yours. We just go knight c2, bringing his queen away from this knight. If he doesn't take this knight, we'll take this rook in the corner, and he also has to move his queen. So Queen takes c2, queen takes g4, and he moves his bishop away. We'll just go queen takes g2. Then the knight comes in. We're threatening h2. This looks very bad. The king is in the center. Knight comes here. Now we're threatening knight takes rook here. 3-pointer for a 5-pointer. But it's no rush because a rook can't move to any square. So we don't have to take it now. And guess what? Simple. Push our passed pawn. Push our passed pawn. Now we take the rook because it has an escape square. And we just want to push our passed pawn. In this position, we're probably going to castle to the queen side of the board. Oh, I'm sorry. We can't castle, but that's okay. We have this passed pawn, and we're up material. What are we up? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, but we have a rook for a knight. We have this passed pawn that's very far advanced. So this is much better for black. Even though I seriously doubt you guys will ever see this at the Nationals. This is, if both players are really good, and I don't think that would happen. Let's see what happens if white takes the fork here. White is happy because he's forking the queen and the rook, but we let the rook go by attacking white's rook. And of course, if he takes our rook, we take their rook here. The king cannot escape here, so he has to bring the bishop here, and then we could play queen takes check again. And then we could actually win the queen by going. Now this is not checkmate. Oh, actually, it says there is a checkmate coming. Okay, but I think it's easy for us to just win the queen here because he can't move his king because this is checkmate here. So that's game over. So that means he's going to have to give us, because the king has nowhere else to go, he has to give us the queen. And we could take that and we're completely winning. That's easy. So let's see what happens if he just moves his rook instead of taking our rook on h8. Rook f1. And then we go queen takes e4. And if he blocks with the queen, that makes no sense because we'll go knight takes queen. But if he blocks with the bishop, I want you guys to pause your video and show me the best move here. If you guessed knight f3, you are right. What a checkmate. The king is covered by all of his own pieces, and the knight delivers a checkmate because the bishop is pinned. And this has happened in so many of my games with so many of my students in this fried liver attack line where they just get this checkmate out the gate. And so what a fantastic checkmate. Hey, if you decide to play this at the Nationals, that would be cool. We also have another fun opening to play with black called the Stafford Gambit. We have a video of that coming up.
So back to what I was saying. Could be us.